Welcome to the Lifeline Podcast. I'm here with my brothers and my sister. Just go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick.
Name is Earl. Kevin.
Cherie, hi.
And you know Dante here. We're here for an in-depth, powerful conversation. We've been here for a little minute. You know, we probably have like maybe about six episodes of pod material. Right?
Yeah.
But it's all in good fun, man. We built some great camaraderie and chemistry just in our conversation. And today is one of those days where we have one of those tough conversations, right? I don't know how much of a happy-go-lucky this conversation is going to be, but
It's gonna go left.
it could go left, it could go right, east, west, but it's going to go somewhere. But hopefully it goes, to someone out there that's dealing with some of these things. And I'm a firm believer that our life experiences, God didn't just allow us to go through it for no reason, but it is for others and for it's our testimony, so others can grow and become better from it, and we ourselves get healing from opening up and talking about some of the things that we and as men, we go through this mode of believing that for some reason, not all of us, some of us, that if we start talking about our feelings and what we go through, it sort of makes us weak in some way, shape, or form, but it really doesn't. It's strength to actually talk about the things that bothers us.
Absolutely.
So I just want to open up the floor about how do you feel about dealing with grief? How do you feel about dealing with grief, like the topic of grief?
When we think about grief, right, it's really understanding grief is the price that we pay for love.
Wait, hold on, say that again.
Grief is the price that we pay for love.
For love.
That was a good one.
Okay, I got you.
And grief is not just limited to you losing people.
Yeah.
Right. We've seen the recent events of Trump winning again. We're dealing with political grief. Right. This has changed the landscape of for a lot of us, right? Especially people of color. Getting rid of the DEI initiatives and careers, right? People still losing loved ones from the COVID-19 virus. But think about it, right? From the peak of it back in 2020, 10 people were allowed to go and see their family members.
That's true.
Right? In the funeral. And some people can't even get the closure that they wanted.
Yeah.
Some people didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. Now we're going to rewind. Now we're going to fast forward, right? With the recent events that are happening with the plane crashes. There was a thing that somebody said that they were texting their wife 20 minutes, saying that I'm prior to. Oh, I'll be home in 20 minutes. We're gonna land, not knowing that was the last message that person was gonna see, that they received from their spouse. So yeah, grief is a complex thing to deal with.
I don't even know how good I could be with this conversation, to be honest with you, because I can honestly say that I am horrible.
Yes.
When it comes with dealing with the idea, the topic, and just dealing with grief. I try to avoid it. I try to stay away from it. I try to utilize other methods to distract myself from grief. And even as you're talking about the COVID-19 and, because I had loved ones that passed away during that time.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to have the big, grand homegoing that we're so used to having. And to this day, it hits me to a certain extent. So I find myself getting a little emotional just you talking about that. But how do we, for a person like me, right, that's out there who tries to avoid talking about grief or trying to avoid the idea of it, what advice would you give them?
Man, it's complex, right? Grief is not like you said, it's not an easy thing for anybody to deal with, especially when we've been conditioned to just keep going. Yeah. We say the world doesn't stop just because you lost somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's
but then how do you heal when you keep running from your own pain? Right? We gotta learn how to feel it. Right? And we're gonna talk about it from biblical perspectives, right? There are people in the Bible who had to feel grief. Job had to feel the grief of losing everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Cain had to feel the grief of and the jealousy on top of him.
On top of it, yeah.
Being in trouble for taking his brother out.
His brother's life, yep.
Right, taking his brother's life. Joseph had to deal with the grief of being sold out by his own brothers. Right? So Ezekiel had to deal with the grief of God telling him, I'm going to take your wife away from you. Yeah. Right? To be clear, the apple of your eye. So it's not an easy thing.
It's not easy.
It makes you more relatable, though, because the Son of God felt grief. And how would he have even known what grief was if he himself in the garden didn't grieve? Did he not look up to God and say, pretty much in layman's terms, if I don't have to do this, please, I don't want to.
Yes.
So he
Right.
grieved.
Yeah,
he
he did.
grieved. It may not, I'm not throwing words on the Bible. He may not have said it verbally,
Right.
but it could have been in his mind like, I don't want to do this.
Correct.
Please don't. So he grieved the fact that he knew he had to die. He had to be crucified.
Correct.
But it made him understand us.
Right.
So grief makes you more personable as well.
I agree.
And then that's why we avoid it, because we avoid grief because we know what happens when we go through that tunnel. We know what's in that tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
We know about the tears, the
Yep.
brokenness, the
Yep.
misunderstanding, the missing of a person, not being able to hear their voice, or just the memories. So that's the reason why people like myself,
Yeah.
I try to avoid it, because I don't want to go down that tunnel and that path. But Kev, for you, what
Man.
as far as
I think I live in that tunnel. Know what I mean? Like, far as people dying, so much death around me, I don't even. It's normal. Know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, cool. So when I go to the young boys and I try to, go to work, go to stay up off these streets, stuff like that. So it's like, y'all talking about the Bible, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's like I watched my best friend die, my grandmother. That gave me the game. All right, cool. She said, yo, the last thing she said to my mother was like, he kissed me on my forehead, he just walked out of the room. Like he know I'm about to die. So, and then to hear my uncle, like, yeah, I had held her hand, she died in my hand. Know what I mean? So just gotta put all that on my back, like, all right, cool. Whatever.
So when you say you live in that tunnel, because that tunnel's dark, it's a dark place, right?
Yeah.
I don't think, now I'm not saying you right or wrong, I'm just saying, I don't think any of us should live in that tunnel. You know what I mean? Like, it's, I get what you're saying, it's the reality, right? The reality of it is I'm in that tunnel right now. But
And I
in
can't
that
say
tunnel
I
is the
can't,
best
I
place
can't
to
say
be.
right now.
Right,
I
okay.
can say I've been there.
Oh, you've been there. Okay, so you're not in the tunnel no more.
Yeah, so
Right.
when somebody made me mad, I don't want to say nothing else, but when somebody made me mad, I'm like, dog, I will welcome you to hell.
Yeah.
Like, you
Wow.
don't even understand what that means. Like,
Right.
I'm going to take you all the way there.
So you think those? So why that though? Right?
So-
not to transition away
No, yeah,
completely
go
away
ahead.
from that, but
So-
why is it that, yo, if you make me mad, I'm gonna welcome you to hell, right? How do we get to the point where I get you to hell? Like, what happened that led? Because that don't just come from out of nowhere, right?
No, yeah.
That stem
There's a
started
genesis of that. So
Yeah.
what was the genesis of that? And I didn't want to transition too quick, but when certain trigger words happen and
Yeah.
phrases, it makes me want to inquire and dig deeper, right?
Exactly.
So when you say I can take you there, what caused that? Like, what triggered pain? Okay.
Pain.
So talk, if you don't mind, talk about that pain that you just described.
Pain. The conversation, like, we was talking about, all right, fathers not being in your life.
Okay.
Okay.
And not understanding.
It's all good. It's
All good. Good.
You good, brother? Yeah.
Got
Rock
it.
up.
All right. It's all right.
Yeah, man. Do your thing.
Not understanding why you left.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's really talk about that one. Wow. That one hits home.
So you will come back in every now and again. It's like a kid. It's like a kid at Christmas, happy to see his pops.
Yeah.
And then happy, and then you'll leave. So that birthed the first level of pain.
Yep.
Then after years later, you get to see this person. And then you look like, yo, You wasn't even worth my time.
So at that age, it's extremely difficult to understand anything because
As a
of
child, yeah.
because I'm 7, 8, 9 years old. Even though you may be a grown man dealing with your own personal traumas and difficulties, I can't accept that right now. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like for you, it may be justifiable. Like I'm at this particular juncture, I'm not the best possible version I am for you, but an 8-year-old mind doesn't. That don't mean nothing to me right now.
They don't even have the intellect to
I don't have the intellect to understand.
Right.
Like that don't. So now I'm growing up with all of this trauma,
Yep.
and you going through it too yourself as a grown man.
Yep.
And I don't understand it yet.
Yep.
And you know, so funny. There was a saying that when you're younger, you cling to your mom, but as you grow older, you start to understand your father more
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
now that weight that's on your shoulder, you understand. Now I understand why my pops would sit in the car for a little bit before he came in the house.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Before it's like you don't understand it, but now you get why he would say turn that light off or to put the heat down
Yeah.
because we on the way home and we want to stop at McDonald's and he's like no, we got sandwich meat in the house.
Yeah.
You get that now.
Yeah.
Because it's like we got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But the young version of Dante, the young version of Kev, Earl, Sharik don't understand
Oh yeah. No.
that pain or what comes from that. So speak to that real quick when you were just talking about that, where that anger came from and that
But
that's
then-
powerful though, man. That's respect.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
When you talk about
Respect.
pain
then
like that.
But then that lack of understanding too.
Yeah.
When you don't have the understanding from childhood, what ends up happening is you still have this question here, but then you're still going.
Yep.
But you still don't have the question here, but you're still going, and now you reach adulthood, and you think you got it all together, but you still didn't close the not understanding from a child.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't grow up with my father at all.
Yeah.
I've seen him once.
Yeah.
One time. And due to the fact of whatever transpired between him and my mother, and whatever situation that was, he decided to say, oh, she's not mine because you had another man. And I could talk, this is not something that's a secret.
Yeah.
This is not something that I can't say in front of her because she'll say it out loud. This is
Right.
not a family secret.
Right.
She let another individual sign my birth certificate because he said to her, it is not fair that she grows up without a father.
Got you.
So when he found that out, now it was a pride thing, and he said, well, she's not mine. So I had to grow up through life as a little girl and not know what it was like at all to have a father in my life and have to grow up as a little girl with not knowing my father and then had to deal with boys, had to deal with teenage boys, had to deal with men. The spirit of rejection was heavy on me.
Yeah.
Because the first man that should have loved me, that I saw, whose DNA is in my blood. I have this man's blood type. I have the sickle cell trait because of him. I look like him. He denied me. What does that correlate and say to the little girl? You are
Yeah.
never good enough.
Yeah.
And you will never be good enough because the man that should have loved you didn't. So you know
Yeah.
what it felt? I felt broken. Like there was something physically wrong with me. And from a female's perspective, to have to walk through life and feel like there is something wrong with you physically,
Yeah.
I felt that no man would ever love me. I felt that every guy I came in contact with was going to leave me, eventually going to leave me. So you know what happened? I started to do things that would sabotage my
Yeah.
relationships because I already knew they're going to leave anyway.
Yep.
Let me go ahead and let me get the next guy on the side because you're going to leave anyway. So let me help you leave.
Yeah.
So how do you what would you say to both situations, right? And there are a multiplicity of people that are watching this or will watch this there is more than one Sheree out there, right? There is more than one Kevin out there that's dealing with that. So what would you say to both? Starting with Kev and then we'll transition to what Sheree just stated.
You have to understand that him leaving was never your fault.
Yeah.
That someone else's departure had nothing to do with your significance.
Yeah.
And some people just got caught up in the definition of having fun, but ran away from responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes you got to forgive people for the capacity. They never had capacity to be what you needed them to be. They never had capacity for it.
Wow.
I look at it like this.
Yeah.
I used to start saying to people, I'm a holiday kid. My pops called me on holidays.
Wow.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how you find my number on holidays? You don't know me any other time. You don't know my birthday. So
Wow.
That's deep.
Yeah.
so now you start putting others in different spots.
Yeah.
This is how you line up everything. Know what I mean? To get through what you need to get through.
Yup.
All right, cool. I ain't have my pops there. So my uncle, he'd do the job.
Yeah.
He had his own kids. He'd walk all us to school. Know what I mean?
Yup.
He'd do the, yo, let's go to the park. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Right,
Whoop-de-whoop. Know what I mean?
Yup.
But then you had my father's brother. As I got older, to recognize that's his brother, he was standing in the place of that. Like, yo, all right, cool. Let me try to talk to him. I can't offer nothing else. Let me give him a couple dollars. Woo, woo, woo.
Right.
Know what I mean? So
Yep.
now you start to look for what? Support. Nobody like what I do. Oh, deal with dogs. What's dog spelled backwards? God.
Yeah.
So you got to find God in something.
Yeah.
That's good.
I was the kid. I was the kid
That's
that.
good.
I was the kid that. How can I say it? The outcast.
Yeah.
Yo, you always like them dogs. Know what I mean? That's what they saying.
Right.
Yo, I watched over the years. Dog took me over the world.
Wow.
Wow. And you
I've
know,
been in multiple magazines. Everything off of dogs.
right. But you know what it is too. As we grow older and as we mature through life, there is a ordained set of people that God has for each and every one of us.
Correct.
I think sometimes when it comes to family and the people within our circle, and that the circle that was given to us, not the circle that we created,
Yeah.
that we look for that support and significance in those individuals when God already has other individuals and other circles that He want to push you into.
Yep.
That will actually be the support that you need.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and what I've learned when it comes to the will of God, that the will of God sometimes don't have nothing to do with what you want,
No.
but has everything to do with what He wants for you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's an uncomfortable space. Like,
It is.
God, why did I grow up without a father?
It's
God,
true.
why did I miss out on these experiences that I wanted for me?
Exactly.
And it's a tough pill to swallow
Yes.
when it's like, I can't reverse time and get back what I wanted.
Yep.
But when Christ comes in and He changes us, and it's a work in progress, it don't happen overnight. It's a consistent work. We then utilize that which the devil meant for our bad, and God turns it around for our good. For somebody else, that they won't have to endure the pain that we've endured
Yep.
as young people coming up, and I commend you on that. But I also pray for your heart that God will continue to send healing and peace, right? Healing and peace to you, because you got something that the world needs.
Yep.
And what the devil will want to do is keep you in the tunnel, or keep you in a space where remembering the pain. Pain can't always be our driving force.
That's right.
Pain can't be the driving force, because if pain is the driving force, then what we do will always be, there'll always be a dark cloud over it, right?
Exactly.
Love has to be the driving force behind everything that we do, right?
Yes.
Because I know a person right now that everything he does is to prove to the lesser version of himself growing up, the version that was rejected. So he does things to prove to that younger version of him
Yep.
that I'm not him.
Yep.
Like, so it's like you consistently trying to prove something to that person. When it's done like that, you're not that what you came from.
I got a young boy right now.
Right.
Hey, Kev, I'm gonna be better than you. I'm like, yo, I do this in my sleep. I got about 10 breeds in my head right now. I do this in my sleep. You can't beat me at this.
Right.
So he like this. Kev, I'm gonna beat you one day. I said, you might be somebody, but when I put this down, it's over. But the biggest thing, he gotta beat himself.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
He gotta beat himself. It ain't about beating me. And I tell him this, but you know, a lot of them got hard heads. And I look to him and I say, oh man, I see what this is. Cause I was here.
Yeah. There you go.
Is loss of support. A lot of us, and I don't want to go off topic, a lot of us jump into these gangs and everything else.
Yeah.
And for support. It ain't because, oh yeah, he's scared, he need help, he need this, he need that. Yeah, he really need help.
Right.
Yeah.
Family
He really need
camaraderie.
help.
Right.
And it's like, all right, cool. Those that know, they be like big homie Kev. Know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, just call me Kev. Know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna do everything I gotta do, so you ain't gotta go down that road.
Right. Right.
And that's why it's. I'm okay. I'm gonna give my story because I was gonna stay away from.
Yeah,
it.
go ahead. Do your thing, man.
I understand. The first time, or the first memory, or the only memory I have of my father is when he was taken out of the house by cops when I was 4.
Wow.
Because him and my mother tried to kill each other because he was a Rolling Stone. I get it. That was my first time seeing a black man being taken out of a home by cops.
Wow.
I didn't see him until I was 12. Found out that he was dying from cancer.
Wow.
And the question that I had that I could never bring myself to ask him when he was on the deathbed was why.
Why? Why?
Because I knew he couldn't answer that. I knew he couldn't give me that answer because he didn't have it. And for years, I was upset at a person who I never gave a chance to hear their side of the story.
And that's the
That's
part that
heavy.
where I had to meet. I said, all right, cool. I'm going down here to Texas. I'm going down here to see my pops. Know what I mean?
Yup.
I want to see this. I want to know what's going on here.
Yup.
So before I even went down there, I was prepping myself like, all right, cool. Let me ask him this.
Yo.
I'm on the phone. Let me ask him this. Let me ask him that. I get down there, and I'm like, yo, this is an older my brother. He's still lost. Then I had to go rewind myself. I'm like, Kev, there's no manual to being a father. There's no manual to being a parent. There's no manual to this. Know what I mean? So you can't kick him
No.
when
yo.
you still going through it.
Yo.
Oh man,
That
that
Know what I
hit
mean? So it's like,
hit heavy, boy. That hit heavy.
at the time, it's like, yo, I'm looking at my baby mother, mother of my kids, however they want me to say it. Know what I mean?
Right.
And then, oh yeah, you go put me on papers. When I say, yo, I don't need to be on papers. If you stay down and stay around, you're going to get through.
Yep.
Now it's like, yo, I need you. You've been through surgeries and everything else. I need you. I'm like, you don't need me. You could have left me alone. You could have let me be when I was on the come up.
Yup.
Everybody don't let you be on the come up. Everybody can't see you on your glow up.
But you said something powerful, man, and it's still sticking with me and resonating with me right now. That there is no manual to being a father,
Yup.
and grace is a powerful thing,
Yeah.
and it's not always the easiest thing to give, especially when it requires for you to forgive, let go.
Yeah.
Right. So grace is, in that particular instance, is a difficult thing to give. And you stated yourself, like, this man still need to heal himself. So it's like, how could this person be something for me that he
He's
or
not even
she's
for
not ready
herself.
to be for
And you can't give man responsibilities to a boy.
to a boy.
Can't.
And it's like, how do I navigate those waters?
Yeah.
Because sometimes even the people that we expect to be support or to show love, they themselves are still going through their process. And we may have already come out on that other side and dealing with other things,
Yeah.
but they still haven't even scratched the surface
Yep.
of their healing process. Because let's be honest, even though we're in the age of information, some people legitimately don't know how to
Tap
do
into
certain things. Like
Yeah.
they don't know how to
True.
be a mother, don't know how to be a
Yeah.
father, don't know how to be a support, don't know how to throw their arms around their wife or their husband. They don't know. Some people legit don't.
They
I
don't
think
know
Miles Monroe said one of the biggest issues in relationships is discussed expectations.
Yes.
Like we have an expectation. Like Kev, that's my bro. He should know not to do such and such and such. So when you do it, it's like I feel so in such disgust because you did that. I expected you not to do it, but I never actually had the discussion with you
Yep.
that you shouldn't do it.
Yep.
But because I have uncommunicated expectation,
Yeah.
it causes an even bigger and greater problem. So now I'm looking at you sideways like, Kev should have known better. Nah, I never told him.
Never told him.
So how he supposed to? Because I expected maybe my experiences in life taught me to be a certain way.
Right.
Maybe your experience in life didn't teach you to be a certain way. So I can't hold my standard
Yup.
to you
Yup.
if we don't have the same life experiences.
And it's true. It's like you said, even off the camera, we was talking about even in the context of romantic interest, gathering data. We'll do it for our spouses, but we won't do it for our brothers. Right? So I'll see what you
That's
like.
good. That's
I'll
good.
see what about you, but I won't see or know how to show up because we never had that conversation.
Yeah.
Grief hits different for men because we have to deal with pain by ourselves. Because the conversation never hit, bro, I need you, I don't got it. We can't even say out our mouths.
That
"Yo,
don't
I
even
got it."
that don't even feel right to
It don't
say.
feel right to say,
It don't even
but
feel right to say.
I can't say the same thing.
For some.
Because for me,
Right.
I can't talk about for somebody else.
Right.
For me,
Because
I-
I'm telling, yo, I ain't got it. Like, yo, hold on. I ain't got it.
I ain't
You know what I
got it.
mean? Like, I might have something, but I ain't got what you talking about.
Yeah. And I said, and for the first time, and I didn't tell y'all this, but in 2020, I was in my second year of grad school. It was October 1st when I found my mother dead in her apartment. And I'm in school. I have to focus.
Talk about it.
I still have to be a father. I'm like, God, you will sit there after making peace. After 22 years, I finally made peace that my father was gone. 22 years, I made peace. Cool. He's gone. He's not here. I got it. Mother gone. Right after that. I'm like, God, you want me to be a father to two girls? And you sat there and let both my parents die?
Wow.
The thing that bugged me out the most is that they died in the same month, but with a 22-year difference. He died October 10th, 1998. She died October 1st, 2020. When that thing hit me, I was like, oh my God. And and the reason why I'm saying it is because a lot of people, especially like I said for men, like some of us can't say it. I told my wife, I was like, I don't got it. Whatever you're looking for me, I don't have it. So I'm in a place where I could disappoint you.
Sometimes you gotta say
get
you
it.
ain't
Gotta
got it.
say it.
You gotta say you ain't got it.
Because if the lights is off, don't ask me why the lights are off. Because the lights in my world are off.
Yeah.
I felt like the biggest part of my life that covered me was gone. That's
Jesus.
the first time I ever felt naked in 30-something years of living.
Jesus.
And you still got to be a man after that because the world is still going to have expectations
of you as a man.
And when you
I
can't
don't-
fulfill it, you
me-
got to let people be upset with the fact that you can't do it.
Me by myself, I don't look at expectations. Like I don't care for them.
Yeah.
If I ain't got it, I can't do it. It ain't gonna work. It is what it is.
Right. And there are categories of men on both sides of the spectrum.
Yes.
That have that point of view, and from your perspective has that point of view as well. Mm-hmm. And both neither are wrong or right, but
Right.
for the person that understands, like, listen, I got 20 people behind me right now that look to me for everything. I don't have a moment in time to be able to say, I ain't got it for you right now. Because if I ain't got it, 20 people ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I can't have a weak moment. You see what I'm saying? For some people, you can't have a weak moment because so many people are depending upon your witness, depending upon your character, depending upon your integrity, depending upon your finances, men in totality have it extremely difficult because of the weight of responsibility that we have.
And it's true, because even for women, when it comes to losing someone or not having someone, y'all know how to rally.
Correct.
Y'all know how to gather, girl, we're going to get our nails done, feet done. You're going to come up out this house today. Man, be like, bro, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Yeah,
right.
Keep making this bread.
Hold on. I just had a situation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why after. I'm gonna tell you why it's
Terrence,
after.
I just had a situation. Homeboy, like, I want to keep this dog. I'm like, no, you don't. I done paid my money for this dog. Yeah, I don't care what you put on top of it. I'm gonna get it. Yo, Terrence, Monster, this one, that one. I'm like, yo, let's put this money together. We gotta get this dog out of homeboy hand. He's starting to see what I seen. Everybody came together. I'm going to scoop that dog on the 15. Straight up.
But that's a situation that is identifiable with the circle, right? But there are situations that makes men uncomfortable that's not identifiable, right?
Facts.
Because the dog situation is, these are individuals, these are dudes that understand, they see what you see. So they can rally behind what you see. But if, say for instance, Earl just start breaking down right now, boo-hoo crying, I'm like, aight, dog, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You good? Like, but it ain't that Cherie could go throw the arms around the hug and rub the back. Yo, you alright?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you straight?
Like, what you
know
mean?
what I
I'm
mean?
good, bro.
We just, right. I know that's a bad question,
Right.
but I just don't know what to say at that moment, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I can see you ain't good, but it is like, you alright? I know he ain't alright.
Right.
But right now, my brain can't wrap around as to how I'm going to address the emotional side of the person.
Right.
So that's when I'm saying that it's easy identifiable with that particular situation. But there's situations where it's like, I don't have the answer for this one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know I don't know how to be there for you.
Right.
I know there's days where I'm going through it, like super going through it. And the only thing I say is like, yo, come meet at the mall. And we just go to the mall. I don't tell you nothing what I'm going through.
Yep.
But just you being there and us chopping it up.
That's
it's
therapy.
Like, that's my therapy.
Yep.
That's therapy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
That's my therapy.
That's it.
But for women and other people, they can be like, yo, dog, I'm going through such. Me, and I gotta grow from that, and I gotta get better, from it. But it'd be like, yo, Earl, let's go to the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just that, and then that will be my
outlet.
therapy, my outlet right there.
Right.
But that's not always healthy because I've internalized everything.
Right, you're still
And I never
you're not
released
letting it
anything.
out. Right.
Like, oh, go to the gym and
That's
punch
not
it.
healthy.
Yeah, physically I punch the punching bag, but I still have something that I've buried that eventually a trigger will uncover.
Yep.
Because I never
Spoke about it.
dealt with it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think that's what
Verbalize
we do.
it.
It's like we don't deal with the things that will prevent a trigger from causing it to become a bigger issue.
Oh
in our
yeah.
lives.
It's gonna happen.
You know what I mean?
It's going to happen, and I tell people, even the clients that I work with, I'm like, feel it now, so you don't regret it later. And all that means is that you gotta be honest with where you are. I work with men, and I tell them, and I'm talking about men our age, and I'm like, yo, you can't keep running. Like you can't keep just going and buying sneakers and playing video games and. You gotta sit and deal. And they're like, how am I supposed to deal with it? Be honest. Are you okay? I'm good. I'm gonna ask you one more time. Are you good? Are you all right? Can you function? He's like, yo, I can't cry. I'm grown. I said, no. You can't cry because you feel like if you do, you're gonna feel two things. You're gonna feel weak or you're gonna feel like there's no point of return. And that's not true. You gotta feel it to heal it. You can't. If
You gotta feel it to heal it. That's
you
powerful.
fall off a bike, you say, oh my God, scrape my leg. You have attention for that.
Yeah.
You break a bone, you have attention for that.
Yeah.
You go to a doctor, you got attention for that. Okay, you got to do this, you got to take all this stuff. But when we have emotions that we do not feel, you rob yourself. And I tell people all the time, why I say feel it now and not regret it later is because scientifically, when you keep suppressing those emotions, that's how you get heart palpitations.
I knew you was about to say that.
That's how you get high blood pressure. That's how you even develop cancerous cells in your body.
And that's how
So-
your life is shortened.
You will shorten your
Stress.
lifespan.
Right.
Yeah, stress is
Stress.
a killer.
Right.
So you go into this, you go in now in church because I'm out to break it down.
Yeah,
In church, would be
Go
like,
ahead.
it's the spirit of infirmity. No, it's
No,
not.
it's
It's called
not.
you keep suppressing.
Right.
You
right.
keep preaching on top of that. You keep shouting on top of that. You keep high-fiving your neighbor on top of
Yeah.
that. Now let's go to the streets. We be like, we dapping it up. We gonna sit there. We gonna smoke. We gonna drink all that stuff. And I've done it. You're looking at somebody who used to drink and smoke like nobody's business. I was rolling for everybody.
Wow.
He was the professional.
I was a self-proclaimed bartender.
Oh.
Mixing. I'm telling you, and I'm gonna be honest on this podcast.
Yeah.
I just put the bottle down last year.
Wow.
Wow. Yo, clap it up
you,
for
the-
him, man. Clap it up for him.
Just put it down.
Powerful.
And some people will be like, "But you go to church." Yes,
Yes.
I was in church, but I was far from God because I was upset at Him. I said, "You can't let my mom die in the hospital. I had to find her like this, and I have to be okay with that." And I gotta go minister and tell other people I was the only dry face at that funeral.
Wow.
All my other brothers was going crazy. So when I say for us, we have to.
But not to cut you off.
No,
Why,
go ahead.
like why were you the only dry face at the why? What was that? What was that about?
So my mom asked me to preach her homegoing,
Okay.
and we had a conversation about things way before she passed. So she was like, "I need you to do this because out of all of her kids, I'm the only one that stayed connected to God."
Okay.
So she said, "As a favor to me, I need you to preach." She said, "And I need you to be strong for me." I said, "Okay, I got you." Right. And I think it was so embedded in my mind that when I saw her at the funeral, I didn't even flinch.
Wow.
But when I found her dead, I had the worst breakdown of my life.
That's traumatic.
My trauma was so bad because when I walked, okay, I'm gonna give it a visual. When I walked in the apartment, walk in the door, the bathroom is right there. So I see her body on the floor and I see blood on the floor. And I picked her up. Like I had all the strength in the world. I just picked her up and I was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" Her body was cold, so it was already too late.
Yeah.
Oh, but she had been there for a while.
Yeah, she had been
already.
there for a while. My trauma was so bad that I was washing my hands every day for an hour because I kept seeing images of blood. You understand what I'm saying? Ooh,
Whew, that's powerful, man. Jesus.
I had to live with that for as long as I could. And I'm like, that's where it led to me going back to those unhealthy behaviors.
Yeah.
The drinking.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. I still went to church. I still had to be in my responsibilities. I didn't say nothing to nobody. Only person that knew was my wife. And it's true. Some people it's two things can be true at the same time. Somebody could love you and not know how to show up, like you were saying. Doesn't mean they love you any less. They just
Right.
don't know
They
what
don't
to
know
do.
how to show up.
Just don't know.
Especially if they've never been exposed to that before.
Right.
They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And some people freeze in time. I felt like I was stuck in time
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
for 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? So it's important. And when I had to message my therapist, I texted her, I told her, I'm like, I found my mother dead. I need a session now, or this may be the last time I message you. You understand?
And you got to talk about that.
You have
that,
to.
That, when you talk about that.
You have to.
That therapy part.
So,
to talk about that. Yeah.
So
I
we
think that's
need
very
that.
healthy, though.
We need that.
when I was in therapy,
Very healthy.
we got on the screen. It was virtual at the time because the pandemic was
Yeah.
crazy. So the first thing she said to me was, "I'm not going to speak. I want you to talk." So what do you mean? She said, "Because right now you don't need to hear nothing I got to say." She said, "I need you to just let that out."
Yeah.
She said, "And I don't mind how honest you have to be." She said, "Be as honest." And this was a woman of God. She said, "Be honest." And I told her, I said, "This is You know, it's just messed
Right.
up because I'm like, God, I mean, in my mind, I was trying to process it. I'm like, God, I thought I did what you told me to
Right,
do,
right.
and pretty much try to honor her words. Like I said about the school thing.
Yeah.
I had dropped out of high school. So out of all 7 of her kids, she wanted me to go back because nobody else was trying to hear her. So I did that. I tried my best to, mend our relationship because we didn't always have the best
Right.
relationship growing up. So I told my therapist about that. She was like, do you have regret? I said, no. So no, I have no regret. I just feel like I wish we had more time.
More time. Yeah.
Because I had just got over the fact that my father was gone. So now I have to deal with another person being gone. So now I'm a parent without parents. What am I supposed to do with that? I have 2 girls. I don't know what it is to give. You said I didn't have a manual.
Right.
I'm like, so God, what am I supposed to do with this?
2 girls.
Two girls.
And let's get even further.
Yeah.
It was to the point where I had planned my 4th suicide attempt.
Wow.
It was my 4th one. I was going for a drive. I told my wife, I said, I'm going for a drive. I'll be back. And in my mind, I'm like, you lie. You just lied to her, right? Because you're not coming back home. So I was driving, and I saw a Mack truck in front of me, and I'm driving. I'm like, yo, I just put my foot on the gas, and I heard in my mind that if you drive fast enough and make impact, it won't hurt. So I said, okay. So I put my foot down on the gas, and I'm speeding. I went from like 60 to like 85, like in 2 seconds, and I'm driving, and I hesitated on the gas. From my truck to this truck, the distance was this much, and I'm going fast, and I just felt my hand go like this and merge to the middle.
Jesus.
And I said, God, why you ain't let me take myself? He said, you will make your daughters feel the same way you did when you lost your father. Because I said, God, you robbed me again.
Wow.
I said, God, you robbed me, and I didn't even do nothing. You got other people here that don't even care nothing about their parents, and you robbed me.
Think about that. Not to cut you off, but think
go
about
ahead.
that. Think about that. You were in a place where you were about to take your own life because of your personal pain. That in turn would have caused your daughter's pain.
Absolutely.
It makes sense as to going back to what you were talking about. A man walking out because of their pain.
Yup.
But not thinking about the pain that it'll cause
Yup.
Lil Kev. No
Yup.
disrespect at that time. Lil Kev at that time. But now we see full circle
Yes.
how it could come to that, right?
It's a trickle down effect.
It's a trickle
like,
down effect,
yup.
right?
and no doubt about it, the girls,
yeah.
God forbid if that would have happened, the girls would be like, yeah, my father took his own life, or my father did, and that pain that they have based upon a decision that he made because of him dealing with his own internal pain. So we can understand, like, maybe we don't know the full story about what happened with Pops or what happened with your dad. Like, we know on some surface thing, but internally, we will never know the internal struggle.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
demons, right?
Oh, yeah.
We won't know.
Because even when I got back, I couldn't get no real answers.
Right.
Know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like, yo,
I still have no
I
real
can't get-
answers from this day forward.
I can't get no real answers. So it's like, yo, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Now I got to deal with my daughter feeling like I walked out on her. So now I only get calls when, oh, daddy, I need something. Oh, I need this, I need that. Yo, come on down here and chill with me. I waited for her. I'm in Rochelle, I'm waiting for her. Yo, she talked all the way in the store, all the way on her phone with her homegirl. I'm like, yo, I said the illest part about this whole little time we had, you stayed on your phone. That wasn't real. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. That wasn't real. You old enough where you can understand what I'm saying to you. You got this wig on your head. You looking crazy.
Wig is crazy.
Know what I mean? Like, this is what social media got these kids thinking. Eyelashes, looking crazy. Like, yo, come on, man.
But it also coincides with, as parents, we have a huge responsibility
Yeah.
of protecting our children.
Yeah.
Right.
Not just
Absolutely.
physically, but mentally,
Mentally,
psychologically,
Yep.
and even the words that proceeds out of our mouths.
Correct.
Emotionally.
We have to be extremely careful because I could paint a narrative of my wife to my son just based off the things that I say to him. And then in turn, his attitude towards her will change because of what his underdeveloped mind.
Now, what you saying is
Right.
what I tell my uncle about my mother. I say, yo, you can't go to him, and her and say, yo, this person not doing this person not doing this person's giving this person giving that. Because what you gonna do, you're gonna turn everybody against each other.
Yeah.
So by the time you looking at it, you thinking that you getting all your frustrations out, but you getting them out with the wrong people.
Right.
Just like Homeboy just said, know what I mean? Like, yo, you need to go to a counselor somewhere so you could get that
Get the right
out
help.
the way.
Correct. Get the
out
right
Before
help.
you bring this into this household
Right.
and mess this up.
Right.
So by you messing this up, I'm like, yo, I need to see paperwork. I need to see this. I need to see that. Why? Because the trust level, you broke it.
Yeah.
And you said something so true. You said we got to acknowledge, for lack of a better term, or we have to acknowledge the pain and address it, right?
Yeah.
We got to address what's actually going on and what
So,
we're feeling, right?
What happens when you address the pain and the person act naive?
But then it's not. But then no.
Go ahead, let him go.
But
Let him
then,
go.
no, but
Let
then
him cook.
it's
Right,
not.
let him
then
go.
it's-
Let him cook.
But it's not for the person. It's for you.
Yes, and sometimes people play as if they don't know what you're talking about, right?
happens
Right.
Because
often.
now if they have to accept what they did, they got to be responsible with it, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you doing your part, you address it. All right, cool, no problem. Listen, how you deal with that is between you and God.
Right.
I already said how you made me feel in the
Right.
situation.
Right.
And
Some
then
people
that's
not gonna
it.
be sorry. Yeah, some people sometimes peace looks like remaining who you are when people are still trying to figure themselves out.
A
Wow.
lot of people still looking for peace.
I'm looking for closure, and I'm praying.
Ooh, you should have
what-
never
I
said that. Wait a minute.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Let him cook.
Got you.
Chef cook.
Wait, let me touch on this real
Chef
quick.
Earl
Hold
with
on.
the cat boy, right?
Got you right now. Go ahead. I'm glad you said that.
Let me just touch on this real quick because I do think that closure is something that is extremely important. And for me, and my biggest thing is I realized while growing up, and I always I felt like I had to keep running.
Yeah.
I want Dante to see. I need attention. I need your attention. I need your attention. I felt like I always had to be the go hard. Remember in high school, there was that one person that was the go hard. That was me. I was the go hard. I always felt as though I had to run and get somebody attention. But in the back scene, I was looking in the white pages. I paid for private detecting to go find my father. I would start. I'm very good at investigating stuff. I start at the top, figure out his last location, what the last name, artist, this, that. Okay, well, who's related to artists? And I kept running towards the thing that I shouldn't have been running to because I was not the one that left Cherie. You left me, but I kept doing it. I was the go hard. And so finally, I would get the information that I needed, but not knowing that running and being a go hard, it followed me everywhere that I went. I was the go hard for everything. I went so hard for things. It's like, now it comes off like, what are you doing? Stop being such the go hard. But check this out, the thing with the closure. I'm not the only child that my father had. There's 5 of us. I have 5 other half siblings. But I'm the only one that he never had conversation with. The 2 sisters that are around my age don't want nothing to do with me. One of them will not even admit what our dad did because he cheated on their mother with my mother. My father was a cross-country truck driver. We know what happens when you get to them stops. You are on that trailer for weeks and months at a time delivering loads. It is not my fault that he did what he did.
Right.
So now I'm dealing with rejection because I have siblings that know that I'm here, won't reach out, won't call, even want to develop a relationship with me.
Because it's pain with the acknowledgement. Because my father, who I have a perfect image of, right? May not be the perfect person, but in my eyes, that's my dad. If I acknowledge you, I now have to address the fact that my father's not who I thought he was.
Yep.
And that's a very tough pill to swallow.
But it's not my fault.
And it's not your fault,
it's
but
not
we
your
have to
fault.
understand their perspective.
And
But then that gets
perspective
me
doesn't even
angry.
have-
Then
that
that gets
perspective
me
don't even
back
have
to
be
being
right.
angry. I shouldn't have, and I'm being real with y'all.
No, yeah.
I'm being 100% real because I'm not. I don't come off as. Ugh. But when I hear stuff like that, it really wants me to be like, please stop. Please cut the foolishness, cut it out, because now I have to subject myself to, oh well, maybe no. No, it's not my fault. He did what he did.
Sure isn't.
It's not your fault. But I'm saying the same way how you feel like, no, I don't want to hear it, is the same way that they're feeling like, nah, we're not going to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's the same anger and the same, feeling that you have.
Y'all just got
You
on
got to
different
understand
angles.
that there's somebody
Yeah,
on the other
different
side of
angles,
that
that's
fence that got the same energy, right? And we're not saying it's right.
Right, exactly.
We're just saying that understand that that's the energy that they have, because again, if my brother right now, I find out that, I don't know, he was a mass murderer or he murdered God forbid, he never did it, just saying, that he murdered a whole family somewhere else, and it comes out that, yeah, your brother is a possibility, I'm not gonna wanna believe that.
Oh, yeah.
No, because I know him. I grew up with him. I love him. I can't wrap my mind around the fact that he would even do something like that. I'm not gonna accept that, right? It's gonna be a tough pill for me to swallow that he did what y'all saying he did.
So now
That's why mothers go to their grave like, my son didn't do it, but we got him on camera, man. You know he didn't. That's not him.
It's not him.
That's somebody that look like him.
Well, can I tell you
So
something?
now you understand why, and I'm saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, and fire baptized. But the rejection
Yeah.
will always, it's something, and I feel like that's why I have to, I get the degrees and I do this, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you say what you have
No,
to
go
say.
ahead.
I will go to my husband and I will say, are you proud of me? Can I show you my degree? Can you, Terrence, my husband, can you throw me a party? Can you take me out for my birthday? Can you do this for me? Because the man that should have done it didn't. When little girls get something great, they don't go to mommy.
They don't.
You know who they run to? They run to their father. So when I tell my husband, guess what? Look, I finished. I'm done. I just graduated John Jay. I'm done. And I don't get the response like, oh my gosh, Cherie, this is great. And I'm looking at, but then what it does, it puts pressure on him.
He was made to be your husband, not your father.
And I have yet to learn that. I don't know how to do, there's husband, there's father. I don't, to me, and we being honest on this podcast,
Absolutely.
this is me.
Yeah.
It's a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
My husband was the one that taught me how to do certain things in the beginning of our marriage. Granted, my mother sheltered me. My mother, I didn't have to clean, cook, or do anything in my house. I didn't even have to do laundry. My husband had to say, okay, Cherie, this is what you have to do. Come, let me show you how to get a broom. Let me show you how to vac. All right, lift the toilet seat up and scrub it. Why is he doing that? That's not my father. And still to this day, it's blurred.
Oh, you ready for this? Closure is a scam. I'm gonna help you with that. Cause I'm hearing her and I'm like,
Yeah. He gotta.
No, baby.
Yeah. This is real live on the
There's a
podcast.
baby in the background. The baby needs milk. It's in the warmer, dear.
I say that because for a few reasons. And after hearing you talk, I'm like, damn, should I still say it?
No, please.
It's a scam. And the reason why I say it's a scam is because most times, in most cases, what are we gonna do with the answers if we get them?
FYI, he died when I was pregnant in 2021. My father died of COVID. I will never.
And you have to live without an answer.
My mother walked me down the aisle and gave me away to my husband. I was so desperate to have a man walk me down the aisle, I was about to ask my father-in-law to do it, then switch places and put on his robe. Just to have what it feels like to have a man walk you down the aisle and give you away. Much respect to my mother for doing so, but I was that desperate. I would have asked the bum on the street, can you give me away so I know what that feels like? To have a man give over? I will never know. He died. He's gone.
Nah, you will know. See, just like I said, I put people together. You within a whole household family, period.
And feel so alone.
Hold on.
Because I know what you're gonna say.
No. At some time, you got to renew something, right?
Yeah.
By the time you'll be done clean your insides. Huh? There it is. There your closure right there. In time.
Sometimes the closure that we're seeking is really an appeasement to what a desired outcome is.
Yep.
And closure for us always is the answer that I wanted to hear
Yeah.
and not the answer that that individual could provide.
Absolutely.
So even if the answer that I receive, right, it may not be what I wanted to hear, but it is what that person could offer.
And I think
When we
that's
talk
why-
about closure, we thinking about
Yep.
this person is going to give me the apology that I wanted. It's going to explain all the pain that I went through that I wanted. So when we talk about closure, from another person's perspective,
Yep.
it's not always going to look or hear like that what we expected. So it's easy to have an expectation of what we think closure should be when we don't actually receive that wording from that individual,
correct.
because it's going to only lead to disappointment.
Yes.
I don't think men really look for closure like that.
You know why? We were never taught that we deserved it. We were never taught that. So we have to just, you gotta be a man, you gotta, don't cry, you gotta just suck it up. That's what we were taught. But we were not taught what I did to you, you didn't deserve. No man, tell me one man you know who has ever heard that from their father. Me walking away from you, you didn't deserve it. You saw how foreign that sound?
Right. Yeah.
I had to start laughing.
That's what you talking about.
Right.
It sound crazy.
Right. That is true. That's very true.
So,
That's very true.
That's what it is, and I like what you said. Like,
Yeah.
closure is not going to be the answer you think you want to hear.
Right.
Because even like you said, it's going to be what you would need to hear. But closure doesn't always come with an apology.
It doesn't always
And
come with an apology.
sometimes closure looks like you couldn't give me what I needed, so now I'm gonna have to go about life and do it for me. I tell all my clients the same energy you give to everybody else, learn how to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Weren't we just talking about that earlier? Learn to do it for yourself with the birthdays
Learn
and
to
stuff.
do it for
to
yourself.
do it for yourself.
And then even with you, with the whole husband and father situation, right?
Yeah.
That dynamic is such a difficult one because from a man's perspective or from a husband's perspective, as a matter of fact, it's like I married a woman, a wife, not a daughter. See what I'm saying? So it works both ways. So now the frustration of I can't even have certain levels of conversation. I'm not saying for you in particular, just overall. I can't even have certain levels of conversation with you because I don't know if I'm talking to the daughter version of you or the wife version of you.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So now I gotta walk on eggshells because I don't even know how you'll be able to handle this conversation.
Yep.
Or handle what we're about to deal with.
Yep.
So now I'm in a place where I'm not even the best possible version of the man that I can be for you, is because I don't know if I'm raising a daughter or if I'm walking side by side with my wife.
And that's the dichotomy.
And that's a very difficult thing for a man. Because a man, when he gets married, he's looking for a helpmate.
Not
A
helpmate.
daughter can't be a helpmate.
Nope.
A wife can.
Yep.
So that's why it's very important for us to heal and go through our process of healing before we get into these relationships.
So you don't look at that person as if they're supposed to rescue you.
Right. And then we holding all this animosity towards a husband when we're supposed to be holding it we we're looking at them as a husband, but they're actually in our eyes a father, right? So you having all of this animosity towards your father that you're placing on your husband. And it's like that no, I can never be your father.
Yeah.
Ever.
And then when arguments happen, it's the daughter in you that's talking to the husband.
And then,
Oh my
and then
God.
they don't understand. They're like, what?
It's like, bro. and it's frustrating.
Okay, so what do we
No,
do?
but wait, hold on. And it's frustrating because it's like I want to be more for you, but I can't be that yet
So
because you're still the daughter version.
So then this is when it comes to play where it's like, all right, you know what? We gotta go pray. Because my husband is my covering. My husband is the priesthood of our marriage.
Right.
So if he's weak somewhere, you know what I'm gonna do? And very seldom my husband say that he's weak in anywhere, but if he's weak somewhere, where I'm gonna go? I'm gonna go pray. So I guess what I'm trying to say is what is expected or what most women are looking for is like, you see me like doing this, well, don't let me do this. Be like, all right, you know what? There's a problem. Come on, let's go. We're going to hold hands. We're going to tarry and we're going to pray together because as your husband now, now I have to cover you.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, you're not my daughter, but you're so hurt right now that you can't even get to the place where, but you know what? Let me help you. Because yet, while he's not my father, he is seasoned enough in his ministry to know and should know how to deal with certain things
Right.
Yeah.
in a marriage.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no manual on how to be a wife or a husband.
Nice.
Let's put that right there.
That's nice.
Right? There's no manual.
That's nice.
The second part of
We
that
need to get
fact
Terrence
is
sitting
no,
over
but
here somewhere.
the second part of that, Kev, is this:
Talking good. So.
go down and pray, but get up and do the work.
Yep.
Yes.
You got a lot of people who pray but don't get up and do the work. So now I gotta acquiesce to all of your deficiencies because you cried for 3 hours praying but didn't get up and say, you know what? Let me exercise and walk out the thing that I just prayed about.
So let's write out.
You see what I'm saying?
So now what we have to do is learn to write out a blueprint.
Everything can't be. Let's we do it. Sometimes
But we
some
are
walks,
we.
You
Sometimes
gotta
you gotta walk that walk yourself.
Yeah.
I don't
Because
like
it's
how
like,
this
no,
podcast is going.
You gotta walk the walk yourself.
One woman.
Like I was telling Dante in the car. I said, yo, my mother yelled all my life. When I go in a relationship, we ain't arguing. Know what I mean? Because mentally, it closed me off already. He don't even realize, like, all right, cool. Like my lady said last night, like, yo, you get defensive if I start talking like this. Listen, I done told you already. Just like you said, you do your homework.
Yeah.
I done told you, when you start talking a certain way,
Remind
I'm
you
gonna
like your mother.
quiet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna block you everything out. It's gonna be a defense thing already. I'm not going there.
We got to do the work, though. Like I had a conversation with someone the other day. I said, I get that we have deficiencies within us, right? I get it. But even with the deficiencies, it does not disqualify us from saying, I know what's wrong with me. Let me try to do the work to heal.
Yes.
What we like to do is have the crutch, have the excuse of this trauma. Not saying everybody.
No, yeah.
I got this trauma. This is what happened. Well, what do you plan on doing about it? You know what I'm saying?
And what we did was last night, he said, yo, kid, I'm not talking to you like yelling.
Right.
This is not a point of you getting defensive.
Right.
We just gotta have a conversation.
Gotta have
This
a
is how a
conversation.
conversation goes.
Right.
This is how we gonna grow.
But even with that, now her actual releasing of emotion is going to be filtered in a way. And it's not a full level of comfortability, right? Because I want to say something to you right now, but I can't because
Right.
you're going to
flip
feel
the
a certain
table.
type of way.
He said flip a table.
I'm going to welcome you to hell, right? You feel me? So I can't even talk to you
Yeah.
because of that situation. So
Right.
what I need you to do, Kev, I need you to heal from that or do the work
Right.
so that we can have a functional relationship. Because in relationships, sometimes you're going to raise your voice.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get upset. But I can't expect for you to shut down and close the door, you know what I'm saying, on the situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
A lot of times I just be stuck trying to learn a person. All right, cool. Let me see how you move. All right, boom. And her line of profession is she's a correction officer, actually a sergeant now.
Right.
So I'm like this. Like, we here doing the same thing. You trying to learn me, I'm trying to learn you. We ain't never gonna have a right
I
conversation.
gotta just be. You gotta just be and figure it out.
I feel like what
Yeah,
you
bro.
need to do, even in the relationships, learn yourself so that you can understand your partner better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we don't talk about enough in these spaces is that self-awareness is key.
Wow.
Right? we can't preach about faith without works is dead, and then we got the faith part,
Right.
But the works is going
Right,
somewhere
works is
else.
going, yeah.
They ain't nowhere here.
Yeah.
So that's what he meant by when he said like you got to do the work to heal.
Do the work.
Sometimes doing the work to heal means writing a letter to your parents and saying to them everything you wish you would have said if they were still in front of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
Doing the work.
Sometimes doing the work looks
I'm gonna do
like
that.
making peace with the past because it can determine your future if you
Yeah.
don't make peace with it.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna do that.
Absolutely.
Sometimes having repressed trauma looks like your kids mirroring you.
Repressed trauma. Jesus.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Another podcast.
Whole nother
myself.
podcast. And you know what? We bringing back these same three people. That's a fact. Because this conversation has been crazy, and it's been. I told you at the
And we
beginning.
just got to the
we had the.
surface.
I told y'all, right? I told them. I said, yo. I told them. I said, yo, we got
You did. You said
the
that.
chemistry and the camaraderie.
You said
I
that.
can feel it.
You
Y'all,
said
I
it.
can feel it. I'm saying this. I said this is gonna be one
You
of the
said it.
ones.
Yep.
Because of each of us, we have our own personality,
Yeah.
and we're willing to express how we personally feel. And we went from crying to laughing to being angry. We tapped into every emotion that we could possibly God created. You know what I'm saying? All in one podcast. You hear me? But to tie it all up, because we on a serious note, if Earl and Kev and Cherie would come back on a serious note,
Yes, part
'cause
two.
we have to
Definitely part
have
two.
to do a
Yeah.
part two,
Of course.
because there's a lot of things that we didn't even touch on yet.
Oh, yeah,
But because the
that's
conversation has been so powerful,
Yeah.
that we just went down a certain way, and
Mm-hmm.
we definitely have to get back.
Yeah.
Together and really do this again. This may just be the crew right here. We just probably gonna rock out like this.
Hey,
You know
I'm
what
a
I'm
part of
saying? You know what I'm saying? We gotta deal with your trauma, right? 'Cause you ain't
There we go.
See?
Dang.
do the work.
All right.
You know what I mean? 'Cause the work, if I kick you out, you're gonna be like, I'm rejected again. Can't do that. Do the work. Do the work.
Oh gosh.
Do the work.
Oh
But
man.
no, man, this has been phenomenal. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Earl, Kev, Cherie.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
Good
coming out and
times.
rocking, with us on this podcast, man. It's been phenomenal. And I promise y'all, we definitely, again,
Yeah.
this is not just lip service. We
Yep.
have to do this again.
Oh, yeah.
Because this has been
Definitely.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yep.
This has been phenomenal. So if it's one word, not one word, but one phrase, anything you want to leave, some of our viewers with, just leave that with them real quick. If you have anything that you want to leave, one note.
Just heal because you deserve it.
Yeah, powerful, Kev.
Be you. Like, yo, listen.
Facts.
You can listen to as many stories we could drop on this podcast, but be you. Find who you are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And go at that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Cherie.
Why you got something?
I don't actually. For the first time in my life, I'm
You
actually
have something to
speechless.
say to the young girls that are still searching for closure. You got something.
that's
You got
good.
something to say
It's good.
about the young girls that are still looking for closure, and not just with their fathers, looking for closure in their relationships. You got a lot of women out there that still looking for closure from a man that done got married, kids, family, all of that, and they're still waiting for that phone call
Facts.
to say, "Hey, you hurt me in high school." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's still people out there that's still waiting for closure. He said it. Closure in most cases is a scam, because only thing unresolved closure is that it's an expectation that you have that Earl is going to tell me everything that I need to hear to heal whatever I've been dealing with for all of these years.
All right, so what I would say real quick is beyond looking for closure, the biggest thing above all is forgiveness. And not just for you, forgive the person. Forgive them for what they did so that you be selfish. The forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you.
That's powerful.
See?
There you go.
It took us 5 minutes to get that. Word of mother. I'm telling you, it took us 5 minutes to get it.
I'm
But you got
sorry.
it, boss.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I want to thank everybody for watching the Lifeline podcast. It's greatly appreciated. Just a word of encouragement to any and everybody that's out there that's dealing with a problem, whether it's grief, whether it's closure, circumstances, issues, problems, whatever it may be. We serve a God that can heal all of your
Yeah.
issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of your problems, all of
Yeah.
your circumstances. He's here for you. He loves you. We have a Christ that died on the cross for your sins.
Yes.
Amen.
And he can
Yep.
heal all manner of disease, pain,
Yep.
circumstances. He can bring families back together. And that's the type of God that we serve. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you're listening, please, if you don't know Jesus, get to know him.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not only get to know Jesus, but also do the work, right?
Do the
Do the work. Go and seek out that person that you feel owes you an apology. Put that pride down. Have that conversation. Have that tough conversation with your parent. That, hey, growing up, this is what you did to me. We're adults now. We need to have this conversation. Go to your father if he's still living all around. Have that conversation. That brother, that sister, whoever it may be.
Your mother.
Have that conversation. That friend that you are now separated from because y'all never had the conversation.
Yeah.
So have that tough conversation, and God can bring y'all together if it's his plan and if his will
Yeah.
for your life, right?
Yes.
So we want to encourage you. Keep going. Jesus loves you. He died for your
Yes.
sins. Turn your life over to him if you don't know him. But most of all, we love you.
We love you.
God loves you. Thank you for watching the Lifeline Podcast. You're going to see us again. This ain't over. This the new crew. You heard me?
Don't do
Appreciate
my
y'all.
sister Whitney and Zenobia.
Hey, it's your girl Whit. Thank you so much for tuning into the Lifeline Podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.